If you are looking to move to Miami and you're wondering how is the Miami looks like, how is the lifestyle looks like, that will depend whom you ask, what kind of answer you get. Because Miami is one way very popular tourist place, vacation place. It's amazing with the breeze, next to beach you will find. And at the same time, the weather also attracts the nuisance like different insects and all kind of different creatures also you will see. One way you will also find it's a beautiful city where you have like a nightlife, very busy lifestyle, and it's a lively city in general. But in a other way you will see it's like crazy traffic, crazy. Almost no public transportation. Even though you have so much crazy traffic, I don't know why city doesn't think about that and try to improve. So in this video, we're going to talk about this kind of facts. Before moving to Miami, you must know about this, and this is not a usual things people talk about Miami. So we are going to go more deeper, dig in, and trying to get more information. So in case you are moving to Miami, make sure you know all the facts which I'm going to talk about in this video. So in today's video, we are going to talk about the very beautiful city, at the same time very crazy city. It's called Miami. I always tell, like in our Indian language, there's a word called Maya. That means a lot of, extra things, like which is more attracted to the normal, like to the human beings, and that's called external things. I mean, it's more spiritual language. It's called a Maya, which you get attracted to. Experience is more like external things, and still, I mean, it is there, but it doesn't matter if it is there or not. So that's called a Maya surround you. So Miami, it feels like, came from that name, and looks like that. It is so attractive. If you just walk around in Miami, you will feel this city is 24/7 lively, 24/7, and right now. So number one fact is the real estate market. So in a real estate, it's a little bit weird there. Single family houses has in general very less inventory, very less communities you will find single family houses. And every street is different there. So if you're looking to buy something in a safe area, make sure you know the area correctly. You got to have the very good thorough knowledge, or use a correct professional who know the area. Also there in Miami, is a condo market is amazing there. It's a lot of inventories you find. If you're looking to buy something like a second home or vacation home, then you will find a lot of options there. Another specific thing I want to talk about, every condo building is different too. Even though, let's say one street you narrow down, there are a lot of buildings there, every building has the different peculiarities. So you got to walk in and thoroughly, know about that building before you buy something. I help tons of buyers, like for vacation homes or Airbnb, or even for themselves. So every a goal has a different area to focus on, because let's say if you're looking to do something Airbnb, then not every building will allow daily rentals. Even though, let's say, there is not much rental restriction there, but however, having the daily rentals, it's pretty hard to find in Miami. So Airbnb market is very, very tight there. If you are looking to even, find Airbnb for yourself, then also it's very challenging. Hotels are very busy there. So make sure you do all kinds of advanced bookings in case you are looking to live here or kind of explore Miami area. Even though, let's say you're just visiting, I would suggest do your advanced planning, because let's say you have to change the hotels to one to another, then also very challenging here. You may not find right away bookings in Miami area. Another thing I want to talk about is you should really focus on is the job market. So Miami is getting crazier in this 2021. I mean, before, if I, let's say I was making this video in 2018 or 2019, I may have a different opinion because the Miami is not a hub for jobs. Like, you will not find too many IT companies here, or you may not find a lot of software companies if, majority of the people like engineers or IT people who are looking for jobs. You may find, of course, the healthcare field, and this is a very famous tourist place. So the different businesses do survive here, and you have a lot of possibility of getting opened and even new businesses like restaurants or any kind of, which is more attractive for the tourist. But for the ITs, this was not kind of a hub. You will not find many IT companies here. But in this COVID time, things a little bit have changed because many of the companies are even moving to Miami. So COVID has motivated a lot of companies to move here because of a couple of reasons. So number one reason is Florida doesn't have a state tax, as everybody knows about it. And the sales tax is also only 7%, which is compared to some of the high-tech cities, it is lower. So trust me, it is like for the business is different, because when you have a business or the big companies, who have a budget allocated to different things. So having zero tax or having the low sales tax, that matters a lot at the end of the day. So many of the IT companies I have heard, they are coming to Miami, and that is going to create very good job market. However, Miami's wages are not very attractive. So median salary here in Miami is close to 48,000 to 50,000, which is even much lower than the national average of United States. So in general, the wages are pretty low. So, if you're a business, you do save some money in a labor, and that is another reason many of the companies are moving here compared to some of the high-tech states, or like in specific California or New York, because there the minimum wage is a little bit higher, much higher than Miami. So if you're looking to get something attractive wages, then probably Miami is not the state. However, the cost of living is much lower here. So you do get, comparing with other states, you get to save a lot of money. But Miami in general, like just that city, if I'm focusing, the cost of living is much higher than the suburb. So many people, what they do is they don't live in Miami, but they live in a suburb to save some costs. However, they do work in Miami. Another thing I would like to focus, if you're looking to find a job in Miami, it's not that difficult. You find a lot of options. There are some of the manner issues in general. I was reading some of the blogs and the feedbacks from different websites while I was preparing this content, because I personally don't live in a Miami. I live in a suburb. So I have experienced somewhat when I'm showing the properties in Miami that people are so rude sometimes. There are a little bit manners, I feel, is less compared to the other areas I have visited. However, I will not comment on a whole city because that's like, this issue is everywhere, right? You will find a lot of different areas, you find this manners issue, like people come late or they don't inform, other parties. So I'm just saying, like, if you're looking for a job here, make sure you have a mission to be committed, because people hire fast and fire fast also in Miami. So you gotta be, have that virtues if you're looking to get a job here, and you can even get it easily raised if you are committed to work, because many of the businesses feels that way, that people are not committed that much, and they change the jobs very frequently in Miami. Number two things, I want you to be prepared. You and your children has to learn Spanish if you decide to live in Miami. I'll tell you the reasons. Miami is the fourth largest, the school system, whole United States it has. It has so many schools, almost 400 schools and among 340,000 students. So there are a lot of school options. However, 1/3 to 2/3 population speaks Spanish. So make sure you choose a school where there is a bilingual education program. I mean, there will be many schools available for that because Spanish is almost a first language to second language, I would say, after English, because it's really very common. I used to work as a physical therapist in near to Miami area. I had almost 95% of my patients speaking Spanish. I used to see almost in the outpatient clinic every single day 10 to 15 patients minimum as a physical therapist, and everybody speaks Spanish, so they had to give me full-time translator. When I went in a restaurant one time to eat, and I was just ordering in a simple language called English, and he was literally surprised that I work here and I don't know Spanish.
They speak Spanish there.
So it's very important you have to learn Spanish, and again, it being a bilingual is a good thing. I feel I also teach my daughter like our home language, and also I'm giving a little bit of training from now onwards. She's still toddler Spanish too, along with English. So it's very important to teach kids bilingual language, especially you are living in Miami. And also, if you are going to work in Miami, then definitely the bilingual language is more preferred over, someone doesn't know Spanish. So yeah, be prepared for learning Spanish. So I'll give you some of the tips. If you have a kids who are going to go in schools, right, for the studies. So make sure the schools, what kind of bullying system, like defensive system they have, because many times I've seen if they are not speaking Spanish from day first, and let's say you are putting them in a middle school or somewhere and they're not speaking Spanish, then a lot of bullying happens in the schools. So make sure you guys talk to the teachers and get more information about that, not only just the education system, but what kind of things they do if kids get bullied. Another thing I'll say, hire realistic professionals, because that's very important to know the area. Even I am learning Spanish in my professional, so I meet a lot of people here, a lot of clients, even they don't speak English, make them comfortable.
You have a lot to learn about this town, sweetie.
I got to learn Spanish, and I work with a lot of contractors, and they're subcontractors like a plumber, AC guys, or electricians. Like many of the people don't speak English. Don't get surprised if you find this kind of population to work with. And that's why I got to learn, like slowly I'm building myself to learn. It's not that easy to learn a second language at this time, but still I'm putting my efforts there. So make sure you kind of put some efforts to learn Spanish. Then your life is much easier compare, you don't know Spanish. Number 3 fact you got to be prepared is traffic is not fun in Miami. I'm a real estate agent and I frequently go to Miami. I mean, trust me, the life in suburb is completely different than life in Miami. I mean, the whole day staying in a traffic, you get drained out so much. And I wonder why city doesn't do much in a public transportation. I mean, there is buses and train services, but it's not that common people use, and it's not feasible with the schedule. So it's very important. You got to be prepared having a car. I have a client, they just moved from different country, and they are like helpless, like since they cannot drive on the license, like without having the license here. So it's very important to plan things ahead of the time. Either using a Uber or the Lyft is pretty common to use in Miami, but it's still tiring because when you when you even like that, my client had that experiences. I personally never use Uber or Lyft because, of course, I'm going only in Miami for the showings. I've heard from the residents and also from the tourists, like my client who are going to live in Miami, and initially, like they had to use the Uber or Lyft. When they have use the app, like they said, okay, coming in 5 minutes, and suddenly they cancel. So a lot of kind of cancellations happens to you. So going from A to B on Uber or Lyft, it is just like a 2 mile or 3 mile distance. You got to put in a time frame like at least 30 minutes because for the wait time and also the traffic going from A to B point. So be prepared for that, or else like try to find other options. Let's say you are coming new and you do not have a license like this. You got to be prepared to have a, like a rental car, or you can find someone as a driver. It's not too common here to use that way, but still it's sometimes if it's more affordable compared to things what you have to do with the Lyft and Uber, if in case you have to travel a lot inside Miami. If you're visiting here, then public transportation is good enough because there are buses, trolleys, or some of the free services also you may find near to the downtown area. Make sure you get prepared if you're crossing the Brickell Bridge. I mean, it is crazy traffic. It is always, anytime you go, it's a bumper to bumper traffic. Another thing I have recognized in Miami, the geography wise, there is east to west roads, and also like it's called a park, PARC, that goes north to south. Park means any road with avenue or place, road, court, those kind of ends. The street name ends with that word, then it runs north to south. So you got to understand that grid, and there are a lot of like by numbers also you will find the roads. So this grid actually doesn't apply in a Hialeah or Coral Gables area. So make sure you don't get messed up, to understand the geography if you are in those two areas. Otherwise, in all other areas in Miami, it works if you understand the basic grid distributions. And yes, be aware if you hear a lot of horns. Miami drivers are crazy. I hear so many stories of people losing life on a bikes or motorbikes in Miami area. Of course, everybody has to watch out, but just imagine having in front of the 200-ton SUV, your bike or motorbike will not survive, especially in the area where the traffic is crazy, the drivers are crazy. So even though you are walking on the street, make sure you watch out everywhere. And also you will hear a lot of horns. So if you are not used to with that kind of environment, don't get scared because that's very, very normal in Miami area. Let's talk about some fun stuff. Food. Yeah, everybody loves food. I mean, if you'll come in Miami, either you love food or maybe you'll hate food. You will not find something you like because see, the Miami has so many multicultural. You'll find tons of varieties here. I have seen a Brazilian, Colombian, Cuban, Indian, so many different varieties of food you will find in Miami culture. So the Miami food is very, very different. In that small quarter area, you will find so many different restaurants. So having the franchise restaurant, that's like a to-go kind of thing. You can go anytime. But if you want to experience a different kinds of food, or if you want to experience different cultural food, then Miami can give a lot of options. I would like to give you some of the recommendation. There is one restaurant called Fairy Nelly. That's like pizza kind of place, like wood oven pizza. It's very homemade feel you will get there. The fun thing is, it's very kids friendly and the pet friendly restaurants, and very, very beautiful location if you want to test out. And there is another Cuban restaurant I've seen that's called Versailles. Okay, I hope I'm pronouncing correctly. That's the world's most famous Cuban restaurant. And it's like on 8th Street. If I'll see the landmark. And this is like a family run business, and very beautiful restaurants, very beautiful inside decorations and everything. So try to check out those restaurants. I have also tried one of the Indian restaurants, but I guess right now they have named differently. It's called Copper Chimney. It's a beautiful inside, beautiful, I mean, the servings were so nice. We have tried a lot of Indian restaurants in a suburb, but it doesn't give that feel what we received in Miami. Another thing is, don't get surprised with the heavy bills, because the cost of living, the restaurant prices, the food prices are a little bit different there. Even though you go in a Starbucks, coffee prices also I feel different than the even suburb. So even the same price, even in a franchise, do not expect to have. So it depends on where the restaurant is located. The Brickell is like very, very famous area. It's like a downtown feel. The most expensive things I've seen there. Another thing is like in the South Beach area or North Miami, that's like all mixed up. Depends on which street you go to. So I've seen even different prices in every street in Miami. So that's like a variations you may find. So make sure you do a little bit of homework. Either you talk to locals and try to get some of the recommendation before trying anything there. So in case you are moving here, make sure you know all those things and you are a little bit prepared about it. There are a couple of more things I talk about in my different other videos where I'm specifically focusing on pros and cons, or even few things in general about Miami. So make sure you check out those videos too, so you know better about Miami before you move here. So I will see you in my next video.